The newly renovated Kayalami Grand Prix circuit hosted the first South African Festival of Motoring. On display were a range of classic sports cars, a garage of thoroughbred race cars and a collection of brand new models.
It's been some time since South Africa had an official motor show, but this year saw the first running of the Kayalami Festival of Motoring, which isn't an official motoring show, but it's still a very good opportunity to see some really impressive cars.
Now, I guess the big difference between this and what used to be the Johannesburg International Motor Show out at Nasrec is that this is a much more experiential event, and people not only get to see cars, but they get to see cars in action.
It's also the first real public event to be held at Kayalami with its revamped circuit and buildings, and it is quite an impressive setup.
It's a superb setup, and we can just really hope that it's not only going to host events like this, but some real fast-action motorsport racing as well.
A fair number of local specialists and manufacturers were represented at the festival, offering something for everyone. Classic machines in pristine condition, cutting-edge holographic displays of new models, and even a stunt machine based on a humble Toyota Etios. A lot of the action was based inside the impressive new pit building at Kayalami, where BMW had a number of special M models on display and on track. The biggest attraction, physically speaking, was the 760 Li X-Drive. The flagship of the 7 Series range is based on the long wheelbase model and so offers all the stretch-out comfort one would expect of a luxury saloon. But its real talents lie in its performance potential. Powered by a monstrous 6.6-litre twin-turbo V12, it puts out 448 kilowatts and 800 newton meters and will sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.7 seconds, helped by all-wheel drive traction. Offering more accessible performance was the 30 Years M3 Special Edition with its Macau metallic blue paintwork, a tribute to the original E30 M3. In performance terms, this Special Edition M3 is fitted with BMW's competition package, which ups power by 14 kilowatts to 331 kilowatts. The springs, dampers and the M differential for the rear axle have all been optimized. Only 30 units will be available locally.
By far the most anticipated of the models on display at BMW was the new M4 GTS. The track-focused road machine has been stripped out in the interests of weight saving, and as a result it has a power-to-weight ratio of 232 kilowatt per tonne. The forged alloy wheels finished in acid orange, the carbon rear wing, carbon brakes and adjustable suspension all play their part in giving the M4 GTS phenomenal on-track ability. Only 27 units are heading for South Africa at a price of 2.2 million rand. So we're on the Kayalami circuit going through one of the classic corners called Sunset, and it's very easy to approach this M4 GTS as just another hot-rodded M performance product, but of course it really is a lot more than that. It has been developed from scratch to be a really mean machine as far as excellent power to weight ratio is concerned. Maximum power in this car, 368 kilowatt, 600 newton meters of torque, a sequential gearbox, a suspension that is much stiffer and a chassis that is much more responsive than even the already responsive M4. And on a track like Kayalami, this car really comes alive. We're going through the second S-Down. As you feed the power in, the car just really reacts to your every command, your every turn. Up into the tabletop and the classic brake, then deep into the corner. And this is the kind of car that really wants you to go harder and harder. If it wasn't for an instructor sitting next to me getting white, more and more white-faced as we go along, we could probably try and go a bit harder. But then this is a 2.2 million rand car. They've all been sold. Somebody's waiting to take delivery, and here I am driving it on the track. Let's be a little bit more careful.
In theory, you'd have to go a long way to find a more potent BMW than the M4 GTS, but at the Festival of Motoring, there was one parked right next to it. The M6 GT3, driven by BMW Works driver Jens Klingman, set the unofficial fastest lap of Kayalami of 1 minute 41. Powered by a 4.4-litre V8 turbo motor, the M6 GT3 puts out 430 kilowatts and weighs less than 1,300 kilograms. Slightly less powerful but still a thoroughbred race car was the Mini John Cooper Works machine of current Mini Challenge champion Charlie Butler Henderson.
Yes, it looks like a Mini, but actually when you actually start to understand it, it is very different and awesome to drive. You know, everyone that I've met that have got a Mini have said, wow, you know, what a feeling, you know, it's great fun. There's a massive big buzz around the whole car because it does handle like a big go-kart with the creature comforts of air conditioning and a radio.
There were no such comforts in the race car, however, which we found out on a hot lap of the track. What is very apparent, though, is just how potent the little racer is. Strong acceleration with instant shifts from the sequential gearbox and, being a Mini, razor-sharp cornering with impressive grip. We asked Charlie his thoughts on the updated Kayalami circuit.
Well, I'm absolutely loving it. Each corner, every lap is a challenge just to try and go that little bit quicker. I wasn't here when it was in its previous light, basically, but I've heard a lot of feedback from friends saying, you know, let us know how it is, what's it like. But yeah, it's got a definite Formula One feel to the place. It's very, very neat, tidy, smart. And just the circuit's making, you've got an undulation of a couple of quick chicanes, you've got some really fast sweeping corners that are quite brave. You have to go and just go for it. And also some undulations as well, some very up and down corners as well.
We had definitely had our fun on the track, but the Festival of Motoring had a lot more to offer than that. We spent the rest of the day checking it out. Join us after the break for more on the event.